Well, now that you're here in New York, I hope we'll see a lot of each other.
I hope so, Tom.
If we had known you were so nice, we would have looked you up the first day we arrived.
Well, did my mother write your mother saying that I wasn't nice?
No, your mother wrote that you were brilliant, handsome, and charming. But who believes mothers?
Well, some mothers are very objective. Mine doesn't happen to be one of them, though.
Good afternoon, Tom.
Oh, good afternoon, Father. Got a couple of new parishioners for you.
Oh.
They just asked me if they could find the nearest Catholic church, so I steered them right over to you.
Ah, that's fine.
Of course, they live in the parish anyway. Louise and George Conroy, Father Fitzgibbon of St. Dominic.
Conroy?
How do you do, Father?
Mr. Conroy?
Very pleased to meet you, Father.
And where have you moved from?
Colorado.
Colorado? Oh, well, that's quite a long way away.
My husband was offered such a wonderful job, we just couldn't afford to turn it down.
And what line of work are you in, Mr. Conroy?
I'm an attorney, Father.
An attorney? Oh, that's an excellent profession. And the children?
No, not yet, Father.
Well, we better be running along, Louise. Very pleased to have met you, Father.
Goodbye, Mr. Conroy.
We'll see you soon,
Goodbye,
Father.
Mrs. Conroy.
You too, Tom.
Bye, Louise.
Goodbye, Tom.
Oh, wait a minute. I'd like to have your address and telephone number for the... Mr. Conroy. Mr. Conroy.
They can't hear you, Father. They're both deaf.
I wanted to ask you about George and Louise Conroy. You know, your friends, the deaf couple.
You met them.
An interesting pair.
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing them tonight. They invited me over to dinner.
I was wondering, Tom, do they know a good local doctor?
I don't know. Why?
Well, today I happened to run into a fellow I know is one of New York's top otorhinolaryngologists.
One of New York's top what?
Otorhinolaryngologist. An otorhinolaryngologist is, he's an ear specialist.
Well, why didn't you say so? Do you think the Conroy should go see him?
If they want to. Anyway, they should have someone to call on in case of emergency. Who knows, maybe you can help them. Here's his name and address. You can give it to him tonight.
Just like that?
Just like what?
Chuck, this is embarrassing. I can't order them to go see a doctor.
You don't order, you suggest. Find a way to slip one little word into the general conversation.
What's the one little word?
Otorhinolaryngologist.
How's it look?
I'd say it's the best-looking table east of the Rockies, prepared by the best-looking chef since Oscar at the Waldorf. What's on the menu?
Roast beef with Yorkshire pudding.
Uh-huh.
Green beans with mushrooms and almonds. Mixed green salad and homemade apple pie.
You really went all out, didn't you?
This oven is a pleasure. I can use the automatic timer for a change because it has a light as well as a buzzer.
He's late.
Oh, I hope he remembers.
Oh. Hello, Tom.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to our humble home.
Thank you.
Come on in.
Sorry I'm late, but I was held up at the center. I was going to call you to let you know that I was on my way, but I couldn't find your listed information.
That's probably because we don't have a telephone.
On account of we're deaf.
Oh, how stupid can I get? I'm sorry.
Look, Tom, Louise and I aren't sensitive about our problem, so don't you be, okay?
Okay.
Now, how about a martini?
Fine.
Sit down, Tom, sit down.
How did you know
Did you say something?
How did you know I was at the door?
The man wants to know how we knew he was at the door.
I was afraid he would never ask. The scientific genius that I am, I rigged up a light signal.
Oh, I see. And then when somebody rings the buzzer, the light goes on.
Tom, just tap his arm.
How does it work, George?
Oh, when somebody pushes the buzzer, the light goes on. You know, I should put one of those in the bedroom and in the kitchen, too.
Tom, you have to remind yourself to look at us, otherwise we can't read your lips.
Have you both been deaf since birth? Never mind. That's none of my business. Well, how's everything been?
Tom, you can ask all the questions you want to. We know our deafness is an interesting subject, so why should we keep people in the dark?
All right. Now I don't know where to start.
Well, let's see. We haven't been deaf since birth, so I guess that's why we talk so good, huh? Like anybody else, we learned to speak when we were children.
George lost his hearing in the Korean War from a skull fracture and a concussion that injured both of his ears.
And you, Louise?
Well, I went deaf gradually, starting at 13 and becoming hopeless at 23.
What else?
Well, I guess that's about all. Oh, except, do you know a good local otorhinolaryngologist?
A good local what?
Otorhinolaryngologist. Don't you two know what a otorhinolaryngologist is?
Something to do with the ear?
An ear specialist. Father O'Malley, he says he knows the one who's supposed to be excellent.
Look, Tom, there's no hope.
It was very nice of Father to try, but we are both incurable.
Never hurts to have the name of a good doctor.
Thank you, sir. And thank Father O'Malley. Better drink that martini. It's getting warm.
Oh, I talked to my mother the other day. She sends you her regards.
Oh, that was sweet of her. What else did she have to say?
Just the usual.
What is the usual?
When am I going to get married?
Hello? Hello, Tom. How are you?
Fine. How are you? Oh, good. Chuck, I just called to let you know that George Conroy went to see the friend of yours, Dr. Stevens. He liked him very much.
Any hope?
No, there's no chance. He's deaf for life.
What about Louise?
Well, she goes to see him this afternoon. As soon as I get any word, I'll let you know.
Thanks, Tom. I'd appreciate it. So long.
Sit down, please, Mrs. Conroy.
Aren't we finished?
Well, I finished with the examination. Now we talk.
You certainly are thorough.
Thank you.
Dr. Stevens, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but if you're going to break it to me gently, please don't. I accepted my handicap a long time ago.
I wish you hadn't.
Why not?
Mrs. Conroy, I'm sorry I have to shock you, but I can't avoid it. Your deafness is reversible.
Reversible?
Reversible. Curable. There's an excellent chance that your hearing can be restored by surgery.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Honest.
Oh, I didn't mean you were lying. Well, I was told...
You were told incorrectly. What you have is known as otosclerosis. It's a bony growth in both ears, preventing them from transmitting sound. Now, by removing the stapes, that's one of your ear bones, in each ear, and replacing it with either plastic or wire, the sound can get through and you can hear.
But why?
Why wasn't it diagnosed before?
Well, yes. I mean, was it because I lived in a small town and the doctors there didn't know enough?
Possibly, but I doubt it. You see, our knowledge of otosclerosis has come about in very recent years, after you accepted your handicap as hopeless.
I don't know what to say.
you like another opinion?
Aren't you positive?
I'm positive about what's wrong. I can't be positive that an operation will fix it till I get in and look.
Is the operation dangerous?
It's no more dangerous than having your tonsils out.
Well, no. When would you want to do it?
Any time you say. You take a little while and let it sink in. Talk to your husband about it. Maybe he'd like another opinion. Then, if you decide you do want me to operate, drop me a note or stop by the office.
I don't believe it. Oh, I already said that, didn't I? Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Goodbye.
Have you told your... Have you told your husband?
He doesn't get home until 6 o'clock. I came here straight from the doctor's office. In a way, I'm sorry I went.
Why?
He rocked the boat.
What boat?
I had everything under control. I haven't resented being deaf for 3 years, since the day I met George. I've been so busy and happy, I just stopped thinking about it. Father, George and I have a wonderful marriage. We love each other. We lead a full life in a nice home. He has a good job with a bright future. We're a very lucky couple.
I'm sure you are.
Maybe my not being able to hear is God's will.
I don't think so.
Why not?
God's will doesn't mean ignoring help from man. God gave you your hearing initially. Why would he want you to not get it back?
In other words, you think I should have the operation?
You think you shouldn't?
I don't know what I think. That's why I came to you. Telephone?
Mrs. Featherston will take it. Louise, don't you want to hear?
Yes, Mother, I do. I guess I needed your permission to admit it. Thank you. I feel a lot calmer now.
Good.
The next step is telling George. If he's against it, I won't go through with it.
Why would he be against this? Why, he'll be happy for you.
I just wish it could be both of us. Goodbye, Father.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Hello, beautiful. How come you're not in the kitchen preparing your master's dinner?
I waited to tell you something.
You did, huh? Okay, so tell me something.
I saw Dr. Stevens today.
Oh, yeah. He's a nice guy, isn't he? Was anything wrong?
He said there's an excellent chance my hearing can be restored by surgery.
You're kidding.
I'll tell you the details later, but right now tell me what you think.
Your hearing can be restored by surgery?
Honey, please let me tell you all that later. Just tell me what you think, because now if you don't want me to do it,
I don't want you to do it. I think it's the greatest thing that ever happened.
You do? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was so afraid you'd be upset.
Darling, you're my wife. I want you to be as happy as you can. Don't you know that?
Oh, I love you so much. And I promise that my being able to hear won't change anything between us.
Well, who said it would?
Nobody. Isn't it incredible? After all these years, I'm going to hear again. Deaf Louise is going to hear again. Deaf Louise will hear again. Deaf Louise will hear again.
Louise, stop it.
I'm sorry. Well, what's the matter?
When you spin around like that, I can't see what you're saying.
What time is it?
25 after 8.
You know, I'm all on pins and needles, just like before a Notre Dame football game.
When will they know if the operation is a success?
As soon as she's out of the anesthetic. Isn't it wonderful? A whole new world opening up.
Right before her ears.
Right before her ears. That's well put.
Thank you, Father. Who's going to be at the hospital besides you?
Tom Caldwell and the husband. What time is it now?
8:27. It's going to be interesting.
What's going to be interesting?
See what happens afterwards.
I don't follow you.
Well, if Louise regains her hearing, the Conroys will have to make a big adjustment.
Oh.
They're going to lose the bond of their mutual handicap.
Well, they'll still have the bond of their mutual love for each other.
I hope it's strong enough.
Of course it's strong enough. What makes you such a pessimist?
I'm not being a pessimist. I was just pointing out.
You're young. That's what's wrong nowadays. Everyone who's young is a pessimist. Well, if I'm not back by lunchtime, you go ahead without me.
Give Louise my congratulations.
How do you know the operation will be successful?
I don't. I was trying to be an optimist.
Father O'Malley,
Yes, Father?
sometimes your sense of humor escapes me entirely. She's waking up.
Louise, how do you feel?
I feel fine. George, I can hear.
I'm very happy for you.
You have a very pleasant voice.
Thank you.
Wow, what a crowd. I want to hear everybody else say something, too.
What would you like
happen
to... Oh, go ahead.
Well, after you.
Louise.
Although, come to think of it, she already heard us.
When?
When you go ahead, and I said, after you.
Oh.
You say something, too.
Congratulations. Don't get too excited.
Okay. And last but not least, my wonderful doctor.
You've been a very good patient. So, you deserve a present.
Oh, thank you.
Louise. I think Father Fitzgibbon would like you to change the station.
Thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry, George.
Huh? What for? Darling, I think it's wonderful. Really wonderful.
Tom, I think you and I ought to go.
You can have 5 minutes alone with her. Then she's got to rest.
Take care of yourself now. And do exactly as you're told.
I will, Father. Thank you.
Well, darling, how does it feel?
Let's sit down. Hold my hand. I'll tell you all about it.
Oh.
Would you like to hear what happened today? Two senior partners
Excuse
told
me,
me
honey.
that...
Couldn't hear you.
I didn't know it was on.
I was listening to Beethoven. Oh. Go ahead with what you started to say.
Well, two senior partners told me that the brief I prepared on the Paley case was excellent.
Oh, my brilliant husband. Oh, it won't be long before you'll be a senior partner yourself.
Louise, did you say something?
Oh, yes, honey.
I
said it
thought
won't
so.
be.
I felt your jaw moving. Louise, I have no way of knowing what you're saying unless you look at me.
I know, honey. I'm sorry. I forgot.
You seem to forget more and more lately.
Now, that's not true. It's not true, George. First time today.
It's the second time. You did it this morning when you were pouring the orange juice.
I'm sorry, honey. I'll be more careful. Okay?
Okay.
Guess what's for dinner?
What?
Steak. Time to turn it over.
What'd you hear now?
The telephone.
When did they install a telephone?
Today. Honey, let me answer it. I asked the operator to put in a call to my mother when the rates change. Excuse me. Hello? Yes. Oh, please do. Thank you. That was the operator. She just wanted to make sure I was here, and she'll call me back when she has my party on the line.
Why didn't you tell me the phone was coming today?
Guess it slipped my mind. George, you're going to have to be a little patient with me. There's so many new things happening, I guess I'm becoming a little scatterbrained.
Well, become unscatterbrained. It bothers me.
Well, what's the big deal about the telephone, anyway? What are you getting so upset about?
Look, I happen to be the kind of husband who likes to know what's going on in his own home. That being so, it becomes your responsibility
Honey,
to...
I have to answer it. It's ringing. Hello? Oh, hi, Mom. No, nothing's wrong. I just felt like calling. Yeah, but that was from the phone booth. They put it in today. Well, I saw Dr. Stevens yesterday, and he said that everything is just perfect.
Good evening. What's the matter, buddy? Can't you hear me? What's the matter? Dummy, 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 dummy.
Let me say hello to Daddy, huh? Oh, of course he's not home. You're 3 hours earlier. I forgot.
Louise, aren't you running up quite a bill?
Oh, Mom, George just reminded me this is costing money. I better go. Oh, said to put you on.
What for?
Well, she misses you. She wants to hear your voice. Come on.
No.
Some other time, Mom. Yeah, listen, let me give you a number, huh? Yeah, Columbus 57098. Right. Okay, right soon, huh? All right, love you. Bye-bye. Now, what would have been so terrible?
Now, let's discuss it later. Right now, I'm hungry.
Oh, the steak!
You ruined it, didn't you?
Well, it's too well done, but it is edible.
Well, not by me. I like a steak medium rare.
I know, honey. So do I, but...
You know, I can remember a time when what I like was important to you.
Well, George, we'll just have to put a little ketchup on it.
Well, I don't want ketchup. I want a plain steak, medium rare.
Well, what do you want me to do? You can't have a plain steak, medium rare.
Oh, yes, I can, in a restaurant.
George, you come back here. George.
Hello.
Tom, this is Chuck. The line has been busy for 40 minutes.
I'm sorry, Chuck. Louise Conroy called with a long, sad story. Seems she and George are having their troubles.
Oh. Well, I knew something was up. I saw her at Mass this morning, and she looked as if she'd been doing a lot of crying. Are you going to talk to George?
Well, I've been considering it. Do you think I should?
Yes. Yes, I do. I know they're both very fond of you, and maybe you can do a little mediating, huh? Good. Father Fitzgibbon and I can do anything from our end, we will, too. Okay, Tom. So long.
Mr. Caldwell is here.
Oh? Send him in.
Mr. Caldwell?
Thank you. George.
Hello, Tom.
Well, I was in the neighborhood, so I thought I'd just drop in and, Oh, well, on second thought, I'll tell the truth. I wasn't in the neighborhood. I made a special trip.
Have a seat.
Thanks. George, I just had a long conversation with Louise.
In person or on the telephone?
On the phone.
She's found her life's work calling people on the telephone. Well, I suppose she told you that our marriage is on very shaky ground?
Yeah. Look, George, if you'd rather not talk to me about this because we haven't known each other long enough or because it's none of my business in the first place, just say so and I'll leave.
Oh, no, stay. I suppose I should discuss this with somebody. I think you'll be objective.
She's very hurt.
Why?
She feels that you don't love her anymore.
Tom, Louise knows very well that I love her. That's not our problem.
Perhaps I should have said she feels that you don't love her enough.
How much is enough?
Enough to be happy for her because she's no longer deaf, even though you are?
I am happy for her. What does she want me to do? Dance in the streets?
She says you're not happy. She says you're jealous.
And I say that she's sadistic.
Sadistic?
Yes.
Give me an example.
She, in quotes, forgets to look at me when she's talking. She's no longer interested in communicating with me. She's too busy with her telephone and that transistor radio.
George, those things are only temporary. They're her new toys. They can't take the place of a husband.
Oh, they can't, huh? Well, suppose said husband is a cripple.
Come on, George, you're no cripple and you know it.
I used to know it, now I don't. My wife succeeded in convincing me. Tom, when Louise was deaf, we were equal. But now that she can hear, she thinks she's superior.
How do you know that?
By her attitude. All right, maybe sadistic is unfair. Let's try patronizing. That can be just as cruel.
What about your ad? What about your...
Did I ask to be deaf? Don't you think I'd give the world so I could hear too?
In other words, you are jealous.
Sure, I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. Why shouldn't I be?
Oh. Well, just give me a second to think. I didn't expect you to admit it. Because Louise is your wife. And because you love her.
And we're right back where we started. Aren't we?
I guess we are.
Tom, I just can't help it.
I think I love Louise as much as it's humanly possible to love. But no matter how much I try not to, I resent the fact that she got in and I'm still locked out.
I see your point. But I see Louise's point, too. What's your solution?
I haven't got one. What's yours?
I haven't got one either.
Father, isn't that Louise Conroy I just saw leaving?
Yes, Jock, it was. She came to ask a favor.
She wants you to have a talk with her husband, huh?
Yes, she invited me to their apartment this evening. Oh, look out now. You ruined Mrs. Featherson's wax job.
Oh, excuse me. Tom Caldwell tells me that the Conroys have been living in a state of Cold War for 3 weeks now.
4.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yes, it is. Well, you predicted it.
Well, I didn't exactly predict it. I mentioned it as a possibility.
Oh, don't split hairs. You predicted it.
You're right, I predicted it.
And how did you know?
Well, as you know, Father, people get accustomed to a certain way of life, and if it's suddenly disrupted, they get confused and they start taking it out on each other.
I'm sorry you said that.
Why?
Because the Conroy's way of life is about to be disrupted again.
Well, how?
Louise has just found out she's going to have a baby.
No.
You object?
Well, I wasn't objecting, Father. I was just expressing surprise. This certainly is her year for physical changes, isn't it? George, is he pleased?
She hasn't told him yet. She's afraid he'd be displeased.
Oh, and you're going over there to help break the news, huh?
I wonder if I could come up with an appropriate quotation from the New Testament.
How about Matthew 18, verse 20?
Matthew 18, verse 20.
That's where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name.
There am I in the midst of them. It fits. 3 gather together. Louise, George, and I.
Well, that isn't exactly the 3 I had in mind, Father.
Oh, it isn't?
No, the 3 I had in mind are Louise, George, and the baby.
Oh. What do you want?
Would you please put on a fresh shirt?
What for?
I invited company.
Oh? Who?
You'll see when he gets here.
Who?
Father Fitzgibbon.
Oh, I see. Well, the next logical question seems to be why. I ask you why you invited Father Fitzgibbon.
Please, will you just let me do this my way?
No, I think we'll do it my way for a refreshing change of pace.
I'm pregnant.
Say that again, please. I'm a little hard of hearing.
I'm going to have a baby. I took a test 2 days ago. I got the results this afternoon.
Why didn't you tell me?
I wanted to wait until I was sure.
So I wouldn't get my hopes up? Didn't we always say...
George, please, don't be mad at me.
You trap me.
George, you've got...
That's what we really need, isn't it? For you to be pregnant.
Well, what is the tragedy? We always worried about two deaf parents being able to bring up a child properly. Well, now there's only one deaf parent. George, I'm sorry. No, I shouldn't have said
Oh,
it that
you
way.
love to rub it in, don't you?
That's not true, and it's not fair.
Well, look who has the nerve to talk about being fair. You want this baby, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Even though it makes me a second-class citizen.
Well, how does it make you a second-class citizen?
Do you think that baby's going to want anything to do with me when it has you?
Serious? You'll be the child's father.
I'll be the child's deaf father. And you'll be the child's undeaf mother, and that's 2 against 1, and it's exactly what you're looking forward to, isn't it? Well, I hope you and Father Fitzgibbon have a marvelous evening. I have a previous engagement.
With whom?
Leonard Bernstein. We're going to a concert.
George, please don't go. Give Father Fitzgibbon a chance to change your mind. He thinks a baby is just what we need now.
Father Fitzgibbon knows?
I told him this afternoon.
You told him before you told me?
I needed moral support.
I see. You know something, Louise? What? Once upon a time, in days of old, when knights were bold, all you needed was me.
Mr. Conroy! Mr. Conroy! George! George!
Louise,
Yes, Father.
wouldn't the time pass more quickly if we talked?
Probably. What should we talk about?
Well, why don't you tell me what you're thinking?
I was thinking about a conversation we once had in your study.
When?
The day I found out my deafness could be cured. I asked you if you thought the way things were was God's will.
Oh, yes, I remember.
You said no.
I believe I said, I don't think so. None of us know God's will for certain.
I think it was God's will.
Why?
I think he wanted George and me to be alike. He knew that if we became different, we'd become unhappy. I never should have had that operation. If I didn't, George and I would still be happy. He wouldn't have been walking down that street. I wouldn't have been hit by that ambulance.
No, Louise.
Father, I'd like to go back to the chapel and pray again.
Yes, of course.
Mrs. Conroy,
Yes,
he's going to be all right.
he is.
And there were no internal injuries.
What injuries were there?
1 broken leg, 4 broken ribs, numerous cuts and bruises. But nothing he can't recover from completely.
Oh, wonderful. I mean, it's wonderful that he wasn't... Well, never mind. You feel better?
Much. When can I see him?
In a few hours. He's still under sedation.
May I wait in his room?
It'll be a long wait.
I don't care. I want to be there when he wakes up. Please.
Okay. It's against the rules. But I'm trying to model myself after Vince Edwards.
Should I wait with you?
No, I'll be fine. Why don't you go home and go to bed?
Yes, I think I will. Well, I'll be back tomorrow.
All right. Which way do I go?
Round the end of the corridor here and ask for the nurse.
Thank you. Oh, and thank you, Father. You're a kind, wise man, and I'm glad I know you.
Who is Vince Edwards?
Well, he's,
How much longer? Voices don't disturb him.
Louise.
Is that you? Yes. May I please be here alone?
Well, if you promise to come and tell me if he has too much pain,
I promise.
I'll be in the corridor.
Louise. Hi.
Hi. I love you.
Say that again.
I love
Again, but turn your back to me.
I love you.
No.
No what?
For a minute, I thought I could hear you. But I can't. How come it always works in the movies, huh? You know, the guy loses his hearing from a severe blow on the head and then gets it back because of another blow.
George, you don't mean that...
That I stepped in front of that ambulance on purpose to try and regain my hearing. Maybe.
It was an accident. You couldn't hear the siren.
It was a blinker. Just like the one that goes on at home when somebody pushes the buzzer. Only it was red.
Father Fitzgibbon said you were looking straight ahead.
I was looking straight ahead. How come I know it was an ambulance that hit me?
You must have heard the nurses talking.
I heard somebody talking.
You could have been killed. George, you wouldn't do anything like that.
All right, let's say that subconsciously I wanted to be hit by that ambulance.
Why, honey?
Because I'd rather be dead than deaf.
George.
You remember that old saying that in the world of the blind, the one-eyed man is king? Well, I didn't want you to be king. It did something to me. I hated it.
You hated me?
I hated the fact that you could hear. I hated the fact that you were a woman and that I was only half a man. And I was someone you don't depend on or need anymore. Just thinking about it drove me crazy.
Oh, I wish to God I was deaf again!
Louise, what are you saying?
I'm sorry. I was saying I wish I were deaf again. And that things were like they used to be. I'd give anything to undo that operation. George, Dr. Stevens said that sometimes the growth comes back and the ear freezes again. If it does, I'll let it happen.
You'd do that? After the way I acted, the way I talked to you?
I love you.
Oh, boy. Some husband I've been.
some father I'll be.
You'll be the best father in the whole world.
A child needs a normal home, unquote. What can I give him?
Everything. You're intelligent, you're well-educated, you're a good provider.
Big deal.
It is a big deal. A lot of men aren't, and their children suffer for it. And you're also honest and moral and loyal and gentle and warm and loving.
Yeah, well, if I ever was any of those things, I'm not anymore.
Of course you are. You're just not showing them. But you're good, honey, to me and the baby. The baby won't be deaf. It'll be able to hear you. And you can guide it and teach it and help it to be a good human being. And the three of us can be happy. George, I know we can be happy. I know it.
So do I. Now, listen, I've been so stupid and selfish for resenting your hearing. Please stay just the way you are, forever. It's just that I wanted to hear too. I wanted to hear too.
You were a very good baby. You didn't cry once.
Oh, one of the best-looking babies I ever baptized.
Oh, I bet you say that to all the parents.
No, I say to not more than 95% of them.
Well, I guess we better get him home. Goodbye, Father. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Indeed, you're welcome.
Goodbye, Father.
Goodbye, Louise. And God bless you both.
Thank you, Tom.
Little mother, Big Daddy.
You want me to carry him?
No, he's not heavy.
Oh, say, wait a minute. I've been meaning to ask you, how did you happen to decide on the name Matthew?
Oh, well, it's something that Father Fitzgibbon said to George while he was still in the hospital recuperating.
Oh? What did he say?
Oh, where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I, in the midst of them.
Matthew 18, verse 20.
Oh, I thought it was original. Oh, I better leave too, Father. I'll see you around.
I'll see you around.
Louise, the baby's crying.
George, did you hear the baby crying?
No, I didn't hear him crying. I felt him crying.